So hi there, this is Rochelle with eXp Realty, and this is a video about if you were a buyer looking to purchase a property and you're trying to figure out ways to put in a strong offer without breaking your budget. So before that video, please make sure to subscribe, click the bell notification, and also like. So one of the things that people look at when they purchase a property, obviously, is the price. So let's say that you're a buyer and you find this great property, you know it's probably going to have a lot of other interest with other people, and it's in your perfect price range and you want to put in an offer, but what could you do to really make your offer stand out with having your offer be within the alignment of the price? So first of all, these are in no particular order. The disclaimer is always that I am a real estate agent. I am not your specific real estate agent yet, but you'll have to ask your agent that you're working with depending on the brokerage laws, local laws, state laws, things like that. One of the things that can be done is earnest money deposit. So this is something that is put on to the purchase agreement of, is it going to be refundable or non-refundable? So let's say that an offer is put in and the earnest money deposit is $1,000. If it's not refundable, then that means that the seller will be able to keep that money. And if it's refundable, that means that the money would go back to the buyer. And that is if the transaction did not proceed forward. So with the earnest money deposit, think about how much could you put down. So instead of say $1,000, maybe it's a couple $1,000s, maybe it's $5,000. But again, it would have to be something that you could afford, and B, maybe talk to your lender, because then that would also affect the loan amount if that is the route that you're choosing. And another great idea is to make it non-refundable, because like I said, then it would be more security for the seller. So if there was something that was going on with the property that could be a need for an inspection, if you said non-refundable, then you pretty much want to make sure you go through the transaction. Another thing that could be part of the offer is the close date. So sometimes sellers also their next step is to purchase the property. So let's say that that seller needs to sell this property before they purchase the next one. And maybe their next property is taking a little bit longer to purchase than what they would like. So having a flexible closing date could really help the seller. Or it could also be another thing that could be done to have a strong offer is to offer the seller a rent back. So for example, the transaction is set to be closed in 30 days, but then for another 30 days beyond that, the seller could rent the property from the new buyer. So that way the seller still has time to move out, and then the buyer could have more time to pack up before they move in. Another way to have a strong offer is to maybe have no contingencies. For example, no inspection, no appraisal needed. You don't want, or the buyer doesn't want to have concessions, meaning they don't want the seller to pitch in for, paint, carpet, helping to fix up something in the bathroom, for example. So that could also be one where it just helps to make the transaction just a little bit more smooth. There's, just less check marks that need to be done on that checklist. Another way to have a strong offer for the buyer to offer to pay the seller's closing costs. I have never heard of a seller saying, "You want to pay my closing costs?" No, thanks, that's okay. I just can't imagine that happening. So when a buyer does say part of the offer is to pay the seller's closing costs, that could be a huge attraction for that seller to say, okay, yes, buyer, we want to definitely proceed with this offer. One of the things that will make an offer really stand out is to have an all cash offer, eliminating the need for the buyer to be secured financing and for the buyer to need to have an appraisal will speed up the process of the transaction. So if there's any other ways that you can think of to make a strong offer without breaking the budget, let me know. I would love to know. My information is below, and have a great day.